Hey, it's Sarah from Experiential Learning Depot. I want to talk to you today about how to pitch project-based learning to people that are really reluctant. So it might be your principal, it might be a director of a program, your colleagues, parents of students, or even students themselves. I have had conversations with people where I've either received a really blank stare in response when I've talked about project-based learning, or they ask me questions like, well, it sounds fun, but what about the test? Or, I don't really have time for that. How do you have time for that? Or, worksheets are just easier. Sometimes I just need to do worksheets. And I get it. And all of those are not, unfortunately, uncommon responses. But they're not totally correct either. So let's talk about the real version of project-based learning, what it really is, and how to get colleagues, principals, parents, and students on board. Let's talk about how to pitch project-based learning when you're getting pushback. Teachers worry it's one more thing added to an already maxed out plate. Students think it's too much work. Passive learning is easier, let's be honest. Stretching the mind can feel uncomfortable at first, but it doesn't stay that way. Parents and admin often worry it's not rigorous enough, that it's fun and trendy, but maybe doesn't cover the standards or doesn't meet the requirements that are expected of them. I get it. I've heard all of that before, but here's the thing. Those reactions come from a misunderstanding of what PBL really is and what it can actually do for everyone involved. And that's not their fault. PBL has a branding problem. It sounds like extra work, like fluff, like a detour from real learning. So when you pitch it without the right language, people shut down. Here's what PBL actually is. It's structured, which is a plus for you and your students. It's standards aligned, a plus for admin and parents. It builds real skills like critical thinking, communication, self-management, creative problem solving, things like that, which is a big plus for your 21st century learners. But here's the best part. PBL makes your job easier. Yes, there's some brainstorming and planning on the front end, but once students are rolling, they take ownership of it. You become more of a coach and less of a taskmaster. How amazing does that sound? Students are more engaged, which means less behavior management, and you're not reinventing the wheel every single week with new lectures or stacks of worksheets or lessons that you need to plan. And it's student-centered. That means the students are doing the heavy lifting, and that's exactly how it should be. So here's a simple framework you can use to pitch PBL to anyone. Project-based learning is a way to teach the standards through real-world questions and problems. Students still meet benchmarks, but they also gain the skills they'll actually need in life, like how to work in a team, think critically, and communicate their ideas. That's it. No buzzwords, no jargon. This is just the truth. Use it with your principal at parent night when a student says, "Why can't we just do a worksheet?" Trust me, I've had students ask me that. I've had project-based learning students ask me that in my PBL classes because it feels like less work. But it's far less impactful, it's far less profound, and it's far less beneficial for their students to do a worksheet than it is to do project-based learning. You're not adding more to your plate. You're just making what's on it actually work. And the same applies to your colleagues and your students. If you're trying to get others on board with project-based learning, whether it's your admin, your team, your whole school, it helps to have a clear path forward. That's where my Scaling PBL cheat sheet comes in. It's not a script or a sales pitch. It's a step-by-step guide for building a school-wide culture of PBL. It gives a simple structure that makes it feel doable for even the most reluctant colleagues. Use it to get organized, create momentum, and show what's actually possible when PBL is supported across the board. Grab it using the link in the description and start laying the groundwork for something that works school-wide, not just in your classroom. That can feel super isolating. So get out there, pitch project-based learning to those that matter in this journey with you. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.